So I grew up in a Christian family with a mum and dad who loved me so much and loved each other so much. And we used to go to Sunday school every week, and I remember singing the songs, and church for me was a great thing. I was so passionate about God, and in my own class I became known as the super Christian, and I remember, a boy drawing a picture of me in a nun's outfit, and I just laughed it off, but all that stuff did hurt sometimes, and I felt different. And then going into the next year, I was determined I was going to be more normal this year. I could still be Christian, but I could have more friends. And I remember for the first week playing my cards right, so to speak, trying to be friends with the cool girls in the class, and it was working really well until one day this particular girl who no one liked, and we were all sitting in class, and she came and put her books down next to ours, and the leader of the group basically got up, shifted her books, and everyone followed and left this one girl by herself. And I thought, do I go with the girls and keep this friendship that I've been developing, or do I stay with this poor girl who would obviously feel so rejected? And then I made the decision to stay. And from then on, those girls weren't so keen to hang out with me, and I became again the super Christian. So I decided at that point that, there were some changes I could make. I started, swearing and just doing things that helped me fit in a little bit more at school. So now at the age of about 15 or 16, I had plenty of cool kind of friends, and I became house captain, and I was getting amazing marks, and everything probably looked really good, but inside I was getting really down. And I felt like everyone misunderstood me. I couldn't connect or express what I meant, even with my family. And it got so bad that one day I had just a normal teenage argument with my mum that was probably my fault, that I decided I just couldn't do it anymore. And I remember kneeling next to my bed. So I prayed and I said, God, if you're real, you've got to do something, because this is it for me. Out came my Bible, which was one of those great teen study Bibles with colourful pages through it that explain things, for young people. And I opened it up at a random page, and it said, have you ever considered killing yourself? I was like, are you serious? Are you real, God? And I still was determined to go on, and I said, there's one more thing, God. I said, I just can't keep going. If this really is you, I need my mum to say sorry for the argument we had. And I was just praying silently by my bed. The next thing I knew, my mum had come in behind me, and she wrapped her arms around me, and she said, I love you, Jazzy. She said, I'm so sorry. And I knew in that moment that God was 100% real. My mum started getting these dreams saying that she needed to get her family back into church because we hadn't been going really for a few years. So we started going to a really nice local church, and we went, and there were only some empty seats right up at the front, and we were just doing all the wrong things, standing up at the wrong time, sitting down at the wrong time, and my brother was copying me, and it just felt awkward. And in my head I was like, God, I am not coming back here. It's so embarrassing, I just can't do it. And then the preacher got up, and he pointed right at me, and he said, what made you sit there this morning? And we're like, oh, well, they were the only kind of seats. And everyone giggled, and I looked around, and there were actually seats everywhere, so I don't know what I was thinking. But he said, I was here this morning praying at about 5:30 in the morning, and I was sitting in that seat, and God showed me a picture of you. And one of the things that he said, which just changed things for me so much, was that God sees your heart, and he sees that your heart is for him. And hearing that God knew that I loved him when I didn't even know was so powerful. I hadn't felt worthy, I hadn't felt that I loved him enough. And that was a big turning point for me. And it was just such a relief to be able to rest in that, be comfortable with who I was and who I was made to be. And now I am married to an amazing man and 2 young boys who I absolutely adore and keep me laughing all the time. I worship lead at my church, which is an honor, and I love doing it. And in the Bible, it talks about the fact that we can give all our cares and worries to God because he cares for us. And And that's the way I guess I live now for the most part. You know, he's got it under control.